Hello everyone, and welcome to Sunup. I'm Lyndall Stout. Harvest is an especially busy time for Oklahoma producers, but it's also a great time to think about your safety when it comes to hauling and storing grain and also working around grain bins. We begin with some tips from our stored products engineer, Carol Jones. Carol, in terms of grain bin safety, what kind of things do producers need to be thinking about this time of year at harvest time?
Well, as we go about moving more grain around the state this time of the year, we need to remember that there are some pretty tragic things that can happen if we don't pay attention to the safety and take some precautions when we handle grain and put it into storage.
And what are some of the reasons that people get into the grain bins in the first place?
Well, usually it's because something has gone out of condition within the bin. Some mold has developed, or there's a stoppage in the unloading or loading of the grain in the bin, and we enter the bins to fix that, and that's when the accidents happen.
So if someone does have to get in to adjust something or do some work, there are some safety guidelines to follow. Can you kind of talk about what the criteria is?
First of all, don't ever work alone. Always have someone on the outside of the bin that you're in communication with, that knows you're there and can call for help or help you if you get into some kind of a problem in the bin. Secondly, if you're going to be in grain over your waist or have the entrapment opportunity over your waist, you need to have a harness on. That way it prevents falls and getting pulled down into equipment. You should never enter a grain bin with any kind of equipment engaged. Always lock out and tag out all of the powered equipment like augers and reclaim systems. So those are the main things. We also need to keep our children out of the bins. As kids growing up in the grain industry, we played in the combines and we played in the grain buggies and in the grain bins. But things happen so much faster as we move grain faster these days, and there's more hazards, and it's just not a good place for the children to be.
And they must be especially vulnerable given their size and experience.
Exactly. They don't understand what the hazards are. It just looks like a fun place to play.
And you've studied this a lot. You're a stored products engineer. Talk a little bit about the research that's gone on at OSU on this subject.
We're one of the leading research institutes in the United States for this kind of research on entrapment in grain bins. We have a project right now where we have a full-size mannequin. We call him Jimmy Hoffa, but he's our full-size mannequin. We bury him in different kinds of grain under different conditions. We have force mats we put on the front and back of Jimmy and measure the forces on different parts of his body as he undergoes different actions within the grain. And our ultimate goal is to determine different protocols and develop different equipment to keep people safe, and also to help firefighters rescue someone if they do get entrapped.
And there are techniques to do that, and there is training available?
Yes, we have lots of training available here in Oklahoma. From Oklahoma State, we can come out to 4-H groups or Farm Bureau groups or local fire departments, volunteer fire departments, and go through the basics of accident prevention and entrapment rescue. There's some techniques that we've developed and have been developed all over the country that we've adopted, where we can train people to stay and work safe and stay safe within the grain industry, and also how to remedy a problem when it does happen.
And bottom line is that awareness.
The awareness is essential. If we don't go in the bin, then we don't get hurt.
Okay, Carol Jones, thank you so much, our stored products engineer here at Oklahoma State University.
Thank you.